week's episode of Seraph of the End, Vampire Reign. Yu and Mika finally have their grand reunion, which is ultimately interrupted when Yu transforms into a half-demon, half-human, disgusting creature with nothing but destruction on his mind. This week's episode was badass, just all over the place. So many great action scenes. Yu transforming into this disgusting demon was definitely one of the highlights. I especially loved the build-up to the scene, which was literally done with grand trumpets and angels coming from the heavens, all within his mind, as suddenly all of this black demonic energy just explodes from all over his body, out of his back, and literally looking like a massive demonic tree branch, which is constantly dripping black energy all around him, like a rainstorm of death. This was a great sequence, not even mentioning all the black ooze that's constantly coming from his eyes, which are now turning red. He looks freaky as all hell, and his brand new powers allow him to destroy massive cityscapes with a single swing of his sword. Definitely the main reason to check out this week's episode. Not to mention that one badass sniper who's working with the Imperial Demon Army, who can literally shoot giant flaming tigers. That is metal! Only way it could get better is if he was shooting great white sharks. Scratch that, if he could actually shoot Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Sorry, I got dinosaurs on the brain. I just got done seeing Jurassic World, and it was awesome. But let's get back to the Vampire Fun Fest. This week's episode really was all about Yu meeting Mika again, and Mika trying to bring Yu over to the vampire side of the Force. Although Yu's not going to do that. He now has friends in the Imperial Demon Army, and he can't just abandon them, especially with everything that happened with his old friends. And there's a scene where they're being attacked by all these vampires and having their blood sucked, and that's when he transforms into the demon and goes all crazy. He even tries to attack Shinoa in this week's episode, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, Mika jumps in the way, claiming he still hates Shinoa and all the humans. He's just still trying to bring Yu back to his side, and Shinoa does what might be the most cheesiest thing to bring him back to his senses, which is she hugs him. It's very shonen when she does that. It reminds me of all the scenes from Naruto. It's just kind of ridiculous and over the top, but then again, this is a ridiculous and over the top series. The action also just getting to see Yu fight against the other noble vampires was so incredibly awesome. Gurren was really cool this week, despite the fact that most of the episode he was being choked out by Ferid, but it was really awesome at the end of the episode when all the Imperial Demon Army just shows up. They're all standing around, getting ready to just destroy shit. This is actually the Hiragi family, which is the one that Shinoa belongs to. I can't wait to see what these guys are going to be capable of, especially this guy who shows up, who has some amazingly badass looking eyebrows. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Seraph of the End? Just a big, simple, badass action episode, which if you're a fan of the manga or even following the anime version, you gotta check this one out. It's definitely the biggest pivotal moment for the series, especially because we get to see Yu transform into this weird, freaky demon. His transformation sequence, I think, was honestly the best part of the episode, that and his ensuing attack, which was just so devastatingly crazy. He literally just has these like massive waves of black demonic energy, which just cuts and destroys all the buildings in its wake. It looks really impressive, it's very impactful, and I'm really surprised he didn't kill everyone in one big swing when he did that attack. But then again, you know, anime logic. As creepy as it actually is, there actually is something of a love triangle going on between Shinoa, Yu, and of all people, Mika. There are some pretty heavy homoerotic undertones in this series, and it's not exactly off-putting, but it is a little strange when you actually see Yu being saved and actually picked up like a frickin' princess. I believe even Ferid even refers to Yu as Mika's princess, which is pretty freaking creepy overall. But I still tend to see their relationship more as like a brother-brother family relationship. Overall, this was a pretty good episode, though. Overall, this was a pretty nice episode of the series, which has some nice explosive action, some big scaled action, which I think is really great for the series. I never imagined we were going to start seeing all of these like big Dragon Ball Z styled attacks which leave craters in the ground. I think that's pretty freaking awesome, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with more of that. I kind of hope Gurren is going to be able to show off a little bit more later, because I was expecting him to be just a complete destroyer in this battle, and for the most part, he's just been choked out and destroyed, although this could have been part of his plan to wait for the Hiragi people to show up, but then again, I don't really think he planned that. I don't think he George Lucas to this. Otherwise, what I will say is this was a fun, badass action episode on the technical side of things. Pretty good animation, some pretty good artwork. A few scenes looked a little iffy, but for the most part, this was a very consistent and good-looking episode with some great atmosphere going for it. So fans of the manga, fans of the anime, check this one out. It was badass. So I liked this episode a lot, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I still think it had a few issues in terms of pacing, and some of the artwork looked a little wonky. Despite that, it was just a fun, awesome action episode. So check it out. So I like this episode, but what about you guys? Did you watch this week's episode of Seraph of the End? Do you have a favorite scene? What do you want to see from the rest of the series? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it, share it with all your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our latest reviews, and you can follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.